Good afternoon, Michael Malice here. Let that be your welcome for the next hour. Roseanne's back, one of my absolute favorite people and yours. Roseanne, something magical happened with me involving you, and you don't even realize it. I love being able to kiss your ass because I've told you this before, you're so focused on thinking how awesome you are, you don't realize how awesome other people think you are. So I was at the gun store here in Texas,
Yeah.
and you call me to throw out some jokes. And if I had gone back in time 10 years and said, in 10 years, you're going to be a Texan and Roseanne Barr, your friend's going to call you, throw some jokes at you, I would have been like, oh, come on, that's ridiculous. And it's true. So God bless America. God bless you. It was such a hoot. I still think it's so cute how you don't realize how beloved you are. Is it because you were kind of grew up and they're always telling you to shut your fat little mouth and you don't realize that now everyone appreciates you?
Yeah, I guess you get like how you grow up, you never grow out, you know?
Yeah,
You're always that person you were, and I think you try to make up for it your whole life, but it's always there. It's so deeply imprinted when you were a kid, and you always got hit in the mouth for saying stuff. And all of a sudden, I remember when I first got famous, it was such a shock because I was like, I mean, I was used to audiences liking me, but that was such just a small percentage of humans,
right.
and I loved it. But then when I got really famous, I was like, it was hard to deal with because my personality was so awful because I was bred into and used to just trying to piss people off because I felt like, yeah, they don't like me anyway, fuck them. And then when I got famous, I was like, what? I don't know how to deal with this. It was kind of a shock. It's real weird then. And people would come up to me and like in a reflex, I'd be like, oh, they're gonna say they hate me or call me names or something. Cause it always was like that. And they'd be like, oh, I just love you. And in my head, it would be a trigger like, what? But then I had to learn to pretend I'm nice and say thank you.
Billy Idol has this quote, which I don't remember the exact wording, where he says, I love when people insult me because then I could stop pretending to be nice.
Well, sometimes you feel nice. I mean, sometimes after all this, like it's really weird. It's karmic in a way. I mean, for me, I think it was. But after all this assault of love for years, it does change you. It makes you better in so many ways. It opens up a lot of doors that you didn't even know you had closed.
Right.
Um, and you're open to receiving good feelings and uh, stuff I never even knew you people felt. I was all defense and stuff. Fight.
Yeah.
And so the second half of my life is far more uh, fun and sweet than the first half of my life. But
One
I
of the
think it's like that for a lot of people.
One of the things I had Dolph Ziggler, he's a wrestler on the show, and it's something I agree with him. One of the things he talked about is how fun it is for him with the kids. Because when you're a wrestler and you're like a superhero to these kids, and it kind of has this big impact, on them. Uh, I, that must have been fun for you because you're like America's mom now, your grandma as well. When young people go up to you and like, oh my God, you see you on TV, that must really be tickle you.
Yeah, it does. It's like the love they give. It's like you know, it's a whole other sphere of my mind and soul opens up like, oh man, remember this? Remember? Of course, now I'm more used to it and I love it. Um, it did change my life. It really did in so many ways. I was able to open up to joy
Yeah.
and, having a good time and feeling at home on Earth. I never had that luxury, and it's just a good thing. And I'm very grateful. I thank God every day that this happened to me, because I would not have been my full self, which I feel I kind of am my full self, or whatever I am. It's got a lot of joy in it. And, I'm glad I got to feel that. Instead, a lot of my relatives, they were my age when, they got old, and man, were they bitter. I got a lot of joy. I'm glad I get to feel that. Of course, I'm
Yeah,
still bitter at times, when I'm
there's
around my family. I slip right into that bitter. It's fun too, but it's just a more deep, wonderful, wonderful opening to everything.
and it's kind of funny because your job was bringing joy to people for decades and a lot of it. So it's kind of ironic that you were only getting the fruits of it much later.
Well, I like being on stage and doing the jokes and see people laugh. I never thought of it as bringing joy to people. Because I didn't know what that was really, but I thought that it was getting them to let go of misery. Uh, I thought that was a good thing, but I didn't know what joy was. Just because you let go of misery doesn't necessarily mean you know what joy is. You know what I mean?
Of
There's
course.
steps to it. When I was absent of misery, I wasn't joyful. I just was absent of misery. You know, it's a big difference.
When in your career were your happiest moments?
Oh, I was never really happy with anything because it just wasn't in me uh, to really be happy. I would be like delightfully surprised when things went my way, when
Okay.
things worked for me. But because I'd be like, wow, this is I don't know what you call it, a kink in the works. I don't know why this happened. It's weird how stuff happened and went my way and worked for me, and I wasn't getting beat up or punched or something. That ain't happening. Like a kid, when you ain't getting hit, you're in the eye of the storm. You're just kind of glad you're not getting hit. But you don't really know, like, what being in control of your whole space and creating the world like you like it, your life. It's just real different. It's like moving from one realm to another, completely different. Moving from victim to victor
Yeah.
is different. It's really different. A mind space. And of course, everything comes from mind. Our whole worldview, it comes from mind, and it's a tough journey to dig yourself out of a hole that you were born
Of
in.
course.
You just get used to being in the hole.
Yeah, because you think it's normal.
Yeah. Well, it is normal. After generations, you're
Yeah, of
wired that
course.
way. You're wired like that.
So what parts of your career are you proudest of then, in looking back?
Well, I have to say, uh, well, when I won these comedy awards, that was really meaningful to me. Like, I won the Lucille Ball. These aren't real known, but I won the Lucille Ball Award for television, and that was meaningful because I love Lucy. We all do. And then I won the Jack Benny Award for comedy. That was very meaningful. I won several People's Choice Awards. Those all meant a lot to me because that was for the viewers. Anytime the viewers liked me, I love that so much because that's who I did the show for. Certainly not television executives. I was glad they let me do it, but I tried to do the show for uh, fat little kids like me that watched television and wanted something that lifted them out of uh, isolation, I guess. Like I watched TV when I was a kid. And I looked for messages to lift me. And I wanted to put that out there. And of course, when I won the Peabody Award for television, that was a that was up there, probably peak. But also, the one that means the most to me is I won the Eleanor Roosevelt Freedom of Speech Award
Oh,
presented to me by what's his name, Oliver Stone,
oh,
and that one meant a lot because I really did idolize old Eleanor there back in the day when I was a fucking commie and all that.
yeah. She was a piece of work.
Yeah, but you know, she really did care about the American people.
That's true.
I mean, at least she had it in her mind that they deserved something.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's very fair. Um, that's it's just so interesting. Is there like an episode of the show that you're proudest of?
There's several of them I'm
Sure.
proudest of course. Little proud of all of them for different reasons. Everyone was a fight that I won. Every episode to me represents a fight that I won against the powers that be. And I used to have a guy that was my crew, my set crew designer guy, whatever. His name was Drew, and he was really on my side. And he was a set dresser, and we used to keep a list of every show what I push through. So it'd be like episode 1, you got this. He kept me going. My crew,
Oh
man, they kept me
wow.
going. And it'd be like, you won this, you got this in, you did this, you fought this. And I had them all. There was, I guess, 300 episodes or something. I don't remember. But every one of them was a fight. And of course, I had to sacrifice my nervous system for it. But I was just born a fighter, and I always fought every day. My life was a fight of some kind, so it wasn't new to me to fight like that. But I guess one of the ones I'm proudest of is one I wrote with my writing partner, who's still my writing partner, Alan Steven, and we wrote this show in 40 minutes. And it's called, we did a couple of lost episodes that we said, we opened the ball. I came out with this Tipperillo dressed in silk, like whatever he used to do on PBS. We found a lost episode of the Roseanne show that we'd like to present now on some kind of theater. I can't remember. But it was the 50s show. And I'm most proud of that because we went back and did the Roseanne show as if it was an
Uh,
episode of a family show from the 50s. And I really love that one.
Was that the one where you had all the T?
From I Love Lucy and all those kind of Father Knows Best sitcoms. And then, kind of illustrated the difference in that old way of showing the family and our way of showing the family. And
Was
it's really hilarious.
was that the episode where all the TV moms had those cameos at the end? That was an amazing moment on TV where you had like everyone was there.
No, that was another episode, but
Okay.
that one was great that I got all the former TV moms, and they came, and Beaver Cleaver's mom, Barbara Billingsley,
Yeah.
she said, well, I find so much of what you do so offensive. It's not the way we would have done it in my day. And I go, yeah, well, guess how much I make? And then I whisper in her ear, and she goes, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And then we cut this big old chocolate cake and celebrated together. Because it kind of was, my show kind of was a victory for women in television. That, first of all, I was not only the star and the creator and the producer, one of them, but I had the last word. And there are a lot of women in television who have the last word before me,
Yeah.
beside, Lucy and, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name, but she was that girl. Marla
Marla Thomas. Yeah.
and Carol Burnett.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't a lot of them, but of course they paved the way for me. And there was a couple other ones too, but I'm seeing their face. I can't remember their name. I'm so sorry.
Guys, did you know that chips and fries used to be cooked in tallow up until the 90s when big corporations switched to cheap processed seed oils? And today, seed oils make up 20% of the average American's daily calories and recent studies have linked seed oils to metabolic health issues and inflammation in the body. So what did Masa do, MASA? They did something about it. They have a tortilla chip with 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. They sent me the chips. You can taste the difference. And it has this like bolder, robust taste. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's clearly better and it's delicious. And you know what it is? They're not like greasy. Anyway, these chips don't only avoid all the bad stuff, they taste incredible too. And snacking them is nothing like eating regular chips. And an added bonus, the beef tallow makes the chips more satiating, so you won't find yourself uncontrollably binging and still feeling hungry afterwards. Masa chips are beloved by tens of thousands of customers, and they've been endorsed by nutrition experts. So, ready to give them a try? Trust me, they're going to be better than chips you get in the supermarket. Go to masachips.com/malice. Use code malice for 25% in your first order. That's masachips.com/malice. Use code malice for 25% in your first order. They have a bunch of different flavors. I tried them all except for the spicy one because I can't handle it. Let's get back to the show. One of my favorite moments from the show, which I thought, because you guys tackled some serious issues in the show too, and not in a corny way where everything gets tied up in a bow at the end, because the Connors were a messy family, right? So they don't get this nice, clean, happy ending, even when things work out their way, because that's not how the reality is for working class people. Is when Jackie was getting hit by her boyfriend, I think it was Fisher, and she's feels embarrassed, and Roseanne's consoling her, and Dan just hears this and he looks at them and looks around and he just grabs his jacket and leaves the house, and you hear the audience cheer, and he just goes and just beats the crap out of him. I thought that was just so terrific.
Yeah, that was terrific. I love that episode too. And the guy that played Fisher was Lori's real life boyfriend at the time too. And he did a great job as that character. But yeah, that's a working class. That's the way the working class handles it. They don't get a bunch of therapists and
Right.
all that shit and run around with all that crap they do in the courts these days. And I wish we'd return to that, because that's the way it was forever. All the brothers, dads, and
Yep.
family go right to the guy. And it didn't, and that's the way it should be, I think.
I
I
agree.
really,
And teach him a lesson, because if not for Jackie, it's gonna be some other girl. Like, unless
yeah,
there's consequences, why would he stop?
yeah. And if he does it again, hello, he's buried in the backyard and a beautiful tree's growing over him.
Yeah. What's the story behind that storyline? Do you remember?
Of what?
Of Jackie being the victim of, because she's such a smart, I mean, obviously that's kind of the point, that she was kind of a smart person, but that shows that anyone can be the victim of domestic violence. How did that storyline come about?
Well, yeah, any woman can be the victim of getting beat up, including big TV stars that are big mouth women that produce television shows. That's where it came from.
Oh, wow. Really?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yikes.
Yep.
Um, okay. Message received. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Let's talk about this documentary. So I was just
Yeah,
saying,
and you didn't even see it, you sons of a bitch.
well, I get the live show.
Huh? Oh,
I
yeah.
get,
But you should see it because it's so good. And the
I,
guy did a good job. I was prepared to go, yeah, he's talking me into it. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see, because, men and how they do. But he did a great job, and I was shocked.
Let me tell people about it, why they should watch it, because I promise you I'm going to watch it. It's called Roseanne Barr Is America. And it was just like I was saying, like, nothing felt more American than being in the gun store and having you call me. I want you to talk a bit about something you and I share very much in common: how much you love this country. And what does America mean to you?
Well, it means everything. Now I'm going to get all choked up.
You
Uh,
should. We're very blessed.
I am so blessed because uh, my grandma on my mom's side, she came over here when she was 15 years old with 2 sisters from Lithuania. And their parents sent them over here. I don't remember the year, but during all the Nazi shit over there in Ukraine, before the full-on World War II thing. And she and her two sisters came over here, and you know, they moved to different. Each sister moved to a different part where their sponsors people would sponsor them. And my grandmother was a singer and a seamstress, and they had a music school in Salt Lake City, Utah, where there weren't a lot of Jews, but some Jewish families sponsored her. There was approximately 50 Jewish families in Utah at the time, and they sponsored my grandma, and she came out there, and she was a tailor, I guess you'd call it, and a singer, and she sang Rudy Valley songs for bar
Oh,
mitzvahs and played a mandolin. Um, and Several years later, she found out that her baby sister had been smuggled to Israel, and also found out that her entire family her entire village had been marched out into the forest and uh, buried alive in a mass grave. 12 brothers and sisters. Well, I guess it was 9 brothers and sisters, her grandparents, her parents. Um, and when she called the Red Cross to find where the graves were, they laughed. That's why I
oh,
hate
God.
the Red Cross. And they said there's just one grave for the whole village. We don't know where they are. We don't know the names. They were so sensitive to Jewish people, as they always have been. But I was born about 8 years after that. And, you think about, where would I be if
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't for the United States of America? Well, I'd be in a hole somewhere. Oh, with just a few less years. Um, so, yeah, I wouldn't even be here. And America would have not enjoyed my fabulous sexuality. But no, I mean, it's everything. And I saw, and when after the war ended, she and my grandfather, they had bought an apartment house there in Salt Lake where I grew up, and they had sponsored about, I think it was over the years. Well, at first they sponsored 10 survivors from the camps over, and they let them live in the apartments. And so those were the people I grew up with. Um, they
Yeah,
were the
okay.
people I grew up with that had numbers on their arms and were so traumatized.
Of course.
And that's why I became a comic, because on Friday nights, they'd come over, and I mean, it was unspeakable PTSD times a million. And I just knew that I should try to make them happy for a minute. And so I began my uh, task, which I sort of remember thinking, you better get up. My grandma had this window seat in her window. And so I'd go up there, and I just knew that God, because we were Orthodox Jews, and I knew that God wanted me to sing and dance so they would be happy. And I idolized Shirley Temple, and all this is in my movie. That movie, Joel. I'm blanking on his name. Joel. What's his name?
I'll find it.
Joel somebody. He's a great filmmaker. He made movies about Obama and all this
Joe
stuff.
Gilbert.
Joel Gilbert. I'm sorry, Joel. He's so
I,
funny.
I'm
His
not
movies
surprised
are
you don't
funny.
remember the last name Gilbert. It's not have a good
Oh
connotation
yeah,
for
it's
you.
blocked out. But anyway, uh, so I began to sing and dance and do my Shirley Temple impressions, who I loved. I was only 3, but I used to watch Shirley Temple on TV and go, "My God, behold this goddess!" And so I copied her, and I get up there and do my good ship lollipop brilliantly, I might add. And they'd clap and they were happy, and I'd see them smile. It was the only time I saw them smile, mostly. And so I felt like, oh, I was a vessel to bring happiness or something. And I loved being that way. Especially, I loved it because I was up on this stage and they were out there and they couldn't get me or touch me, or I didn't have to smell their onion pickle breath or any of that, or look at their wart with the hair in it. I just got to entertain, have my own world, which I loved. And it's in the movie that uh, my desire to be Shirley Temple, it really did uh, generate my whole life until I was about 12. And I tell about how my family lied and said I was better than and prettier than Shirley Temple. And I was, really believed them until I was about 12 and went out in the world and I saw it was a lie and they were filthy liars. And it ruined my life that I wasn't as talented or as pretty as Shirley Temple. And I was enraged from that day forward and always tried to get that feeling back. And then when I got the Roseanne show, it was, oh my God, it will not be through song, dance, and impressions that I reach my goal. It'll be through stand up comedy that I can recapture the magic of performance as Shirley Temple.
Did you ever
And
get to meet her?
I never did, but I
No.
always admired her, and her work after she became an adult was fantastic too. Shirley Temple Black. She worked at the UN for children's rights, and she was just a great child performer, and but she was really ingrained in there in me, and you know, but it's in the movie. He does it really hilariously. He'll put in like Shirley Temple clips, and then me being fat and chubby and having some kind of personality disorder, thinking I was like that. He's got great clips of my childhood.
Oh, did
They're
you?
so funny and horrifying and horrible.
So, did you ever see What Are Having a Baby Jane?
I love that one. I was going to do that with Sharon Stone. We were right on the verge of remaking that.
Which one would you play?
Well, we were fighting over it, She,
Wow.
she of course wanted to be, I don't know who, I think she wanted to be the one in the bed. Like
Blanche.
Blanche, yeah. And I even had I really wanted to be Baby Jane. I love that movie so much, don't you?
Of course.
I wrote a letter to my daddy. I loved it.
You could still do it. What do you mean? The whole point is that it's Betty Davis. I think she was around your age when she did it, wasn't she?
Yeah, probably. I'd love to do it, but movies are fucked because you'd sit around in a trailer for months, and I already did that in my early life.
All right. I think I don't know who I would cast opposite you for that. I know who I would cast opposite you.
Who?
Sarah Gilbert.
Oh,
But that's the whole point. Remember, they hate each other.
now it has to be an actor.
Guys, if you're noticing hair loss, thinning, or shedding lately, you have to hear this. The scientists at OneSkin have developed a scalp serum called OS1 Hair that targets the dysfunctional aging cells that cause it. In a clinical study, participants saw, on average, a 40% increase in hair density after 6 months. And in a consumer perception study, 75% had new hair growth after just 3 months. Now, I've talked about OneSkin before. You know how their patented OS1 peptide is scientifically proven to target aging at the cellular level. It's what powers their skin and sun care. And now it's targeting age-related hair loss and thinning. You don't have to lose all your hair, guys. I'm saying this as someone who's much closer to 60 than he is to his youth. OneSkin customers have been obsessed with this new launch. They say their hair feels fuller, shinier, smoother. OS1 Hair is drug-free, prescription-free, and since the texture is a lightweight, water-like serum, you can style your hair like normal or like abnormal like I do. Try OS1 Hair and get 15% off your first 3-month supply with code Malice at oneskin.co. I use their stuff for my skin. I like it. It's not greasy. It dissolves quick. It feels regenerative. I like it. I use it every day after my shower. OneSkin was founded in 2016 by an all-woman team of scientists with PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off by using code MALICE at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code MALICE. And after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them and tell them Michael Malice sent you. Folks, as many of you know, I've had stomach issues my entire life when I was a kid. It caused lots of problems. I had to eat in the principal's office because I had to take my Mylanta and I left the school. It was a whole thing. And I never thought I'd know what it was like to be normal. And then I had a coworker who had Crohn's, which is no joke, as you guys know. And he recommended probiotics. And I tried them. And it was the first time, and I was in my 20s at this point, where I could have a normal relationship with food. It was that much of a game changer. So I want to talk to you guys about Just Thrive Health. If you go to justthrivehealth.com, use promo code WELCOME, you get 20% off your first order of probiotics. Try them. You'll love them. There's something else that they have. They've also recently introduced Just Thrive Bitters. Bitters are tasteless capsules with 12 bitter herbs, which are clinically proven to wake up your digestive system for results that you can feel. No more bloat, burps, or bellyaches after meals, just comfortable digestion. And you could try them risk-free, because if you don't like them, full product refund, no questions asked. If you're having stomach issues, you've probably told yourself, like I used to, either this is just how it's going to be or this is normal. Just because it's happening to you all the time doesn't mean that's the way it has to be. Please try it. You will be surprised how much better your digestive system can be. And by the way, once that happens, everything else falls into place. That's justthrivehealth.com, promo code WELCOME for 20% off your first order. Full product refund, no questions asked. Your health is your greatest asset. Thank you, Just Thrive Health, for sponsoring the show. Let's get back into it. Okay, let's talk about something just happened in your personal life. You had to put your mom in a home. And so tell us about that. That's got to be tough.
It was tough on her
Okay.
because she's 93 and she didn't want to leave her house. My mom is, I'd have to say, she's a brilliant, quirky, kind of headstrong woman. You know, I'm kind of like her, and I'm like my dad too. They're both very unique, shall we say, people. And she didn't want to leave her home, you know. And we've been telling her for a long time, Mom, you're going to have to leave your home because it's a death trap. It always was a death trap. And so we're trying to talk her into a long time going to not a home, but, you know, someplace that's like has one level.
Yep.
Because she's got like 3 levels. And so she keep on getting these boyfriends to come and, you know, live with her so we couldn't take her out of there. And then they all died. And, you know, one at a time they all died. And then she locked the door so nobody could get in there. She loved the quarantine there for the, what is it called?
The Kung Flu.
Yeah. And so then she locked all her doors and she wouldn't let anybody in for about 4 years, even her family.
Okay.
And she let people come and drop off food and leave it on her porch.
Like Meals on Wheels?
Hughes, huh?
Like a Meals on Wheels thing?
No, just people that loved her. Everyone loved my mother in Salt Lake. My mother is kind of the founder of, what is that gay shit? Where you have the gay kids and all that. And you start that thing for parents of gays.
Oh, PFLAG? Is that what it's called?
PFLAG. And she founded that in Salt Lake, which was a big deal then. It was very red, and she has 2 gay kids. So she found out, so the gay community loves my mom. Everyone loves my mom. And so all the gays will bring food to my mom and leave it on her porch, and they'll do everything for my mom. And, you know, but she won't let them in because she don't want no germs. She's just like Howard Hughes there. And so finally, she allowed my brother and his husband to come and get her and bring her to San Francisco, and she stayed with them. And My sister lives up there too with her wife or spouse, whatever. I don't know what the hell. I always go, which one of you is the girl? They get so mad. They get so mad. They go, we're spouses. We don't do that, husband wife thing. I'm like, okay. But anyway, I just like pissing them off. But anyway, the gays and the lesbians in my family took care of Mama for 7 months there. She went back and forth between the gays and the lesbians until they couldn't take no more of it because Mom's demanding and such. And so they called me then and they said, we've been taking care of Mama for 7 months and it's a little hard because both of them are ill. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come. And when I come, nobody's going to give me any libtard bullshit or talk twice to me about what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. I'm paying for it because none of y'all have any, because you're libtards, you don't have no money. But when I do come, you will do what I tell you to do without exception, without arguments, without nothing. You will do as I say, or I don't come. I'll just come and get Mama, and Mama will live with me. Uh, well, I knew they didn't want that because, they don't want Mama turning all red. So I said, I'll come up there and we'll put her in, we'll put her in a beautiful place and she'll have a lovely, third or fourth chapter, whatever it is. So that's what I did. And I went up there and we, studied around the Bay Area there. Where's the best place to put my mom? And we found it. And, it was hard because she didn't want to go. She tries to lie to everybody all the time. She's always lied her whole life to get her way. I think it's funny, but because I'm used to her. But she's like, I'll go in. I'll go in I mean, it's like a fabulous apartment place that they have like uh, a beauty parlor. They got everything in there. It's like a place in New York City that rich people live.
Like a resort almost.
Yeah, kind of. And it's in the middle of some beautiful things. She can walk to a farmer's market. It's all kinds of nice. I should go. I said, Mama, I'm going to move in next door to you in a year. I'm sick of, I don't want to cut grass anymore. Damn, I'm old too. I want to have people massaging my feet and this shit. But anyway, so she says, yeah, I'll go in there. The only thing I ask, she says, before I go in there is that you take me home to my house one more time so I can get my stuff. And I go, and they'll go, okay, my brother and his husband, well, she deserves it. She deserves for us to drive her home and then take her in the house and get what she wants out of there. And I go, you guys have been gay too long. Let me tell you what, she's going to go in the house and lock the door, lock you out, not let you in. She's never coming out. You take her back. I guarantee that's what she's going to do. And because it's an 18-hour ride from San Fran to Salt Lake. And, of course, they just worship my mother. And I said, that's what she'll do. So I told Mom, I go, let's be straight, Mom. That's how I talk to her. Let's be straight, Mom. You're using the gays and they're going to take you home. And when you get in, they're going to lock the fucking door, not let them in and not leave. Am I right? And she goes like this. Well, there's an intriguing idea. I go, yeah, I know how you are. And you're not doing it. First of all, you can't sit in a car. You can't raise your legs in their tiny little Hyundai for 18 fucking hours and you can't fly. So you're not going. And I got to tell you this, what she did. This is my mother. This is the best mother story ever. So she has this one boyfriend and he's dying and he's a lovely Arnie Leibowitz. We loved him. 81st Airborne. Loved him. Very brave. 81st Airborne. And he always wear the hat. 81st Airborne. Wherever he goes, the soldiers buy him lunch. He loves that. And anyways, he's dying there. And Mama and him are in a paper marriage where they each got control of each other's whatever, but not really married because whatever, they're gestalt. But so she's got him on all these machines keeping going, and he's 94, he's not going to get better. But mama can't accept that he ain't going to get better. And so she's keeping him going. And I knew that was wrong, so I took mama to the head doctor there where he was in the hospital, and I sit her down with the doctor and I go, "Can you please explain to my mother how keeping this man alive is not the moral?" Because my mom's very religious and she wants to be moral. She is moral, but she can tweak it. I go, "We
Mhm.
need to tell her it's not moral to keep someone who needs to go to God, to keep them on a machine and keep them alive when they're not, there is no hope that they're going to get any better." She goes, "I'm praying for him and I see every day he's moving a toe." She's doing that, how people are. And so I say to the doctor, "Please explain to my mother how he has no chance of improving and he's just basically a vegetable and she needs to let him go to Hashem." And so the doctor looks at my mother and she goes, "Your daughter is correct. He isn't going to make any improvement. And there is and she's very clear. She looks mama in the eye. There is no chance that he will revive. He's 94. He has blah, blah, this and that." She goes, "Your daughter is right." And my mother, here's her face, and she looks at me. She goes, "You're Hitler." She looks right at me.
Wait.
Hitler.
Hold on. She's right. There you are.
Yeah, there I
That's
am.
that's Hitler right up there.
I go, "Thanks, Mom. But you're gonna unplug him, and you're gonna unplug him tonight too while I'm here. You're gonna let him go." So she goes, "Okay."
Oh,
So that night we did unplug him, and I'll never forget this. I love it. It's the most wonderful thing I've ever heard in my life. He's suffering, and he's, the light's dimming, and I said prayers for him that you say. And as he turned over, the last words I heard him say, and I love them, they're ageless. He looked at me and then he looked up and he goes, "Whose idea was this?"
no. No. Holy crap.
those are those are his last worldly words. "Whose idea was this?"
Oh my
You
God.
love that? Is that, I want that on my grave.
It's interesting what you just said because my great grandma, she was living in an assisted living home in San Francisco as well. It was called Menorah Park. And
I
right?
love
And I visited her and I asked her because all the residents had on their doors this little card with a picture of Menorah on it. And I'm like, "What's with the card?" She goes, "We got to flip them every morning when we wake up so they know we're alive."
There's
So
no
instead of knocking on doors, they could look to see who still made it through the night.
This getting
Yeah.
old shit, there's no damn dignity in it at all. That's the best part of the joke. You know what Rodney Dangerfield told me his dad's last words were, and I think he put it in a book of his too. "It's
What?
all bullshit, son."
There's the last words of Schiller, who is this playwright. Supposedly, this isn't true, but it sure makes a good story. He said, "Many things have grown clear to my understanding." And isn't that a great way to go out to be like, "Oh, I get it," and then you're done? At what point when you were at this like resort assisted living place did you feel confident that Jake wasn't going to leave you there?
Which resort place?
The where you put your mom.
Oh, Jake kept threatening. He goes, "You ought to go in here too. You're as bad as she is. You're almost as bad as her." I'm like, "Put me in, please. Do me a favor. I'd love to be waited on and, you know,
So we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to. We can cut this. I know you and your parents had a big falling out.
Yeah.
Like, and how did you guys reconcile?
Oh boy, well, we didn't talk for 15 years, you know.
Right.
They were the happiest 15 years of my life.
Out of theirs.
No, probably there's two. I mean, it was just always horrible and dark, but that was 15 years. I did a lot of healing, and I think they did too. Well, I can tell they did. And then I went. I was never stepped foot in Utah than 15 years, you know. And then I got invited to this Park City Robert Redford Film Festival or some of them kind of shit, and we got on a we got to go on a private plane, you know, to Park City. No, we didn't go on a private plane. I'm sorry. We went on a regular plane. We had to land in Salt Lake City, but we had a car to drive us to Park City, which is about an hour trip. And I just got this feeling: go see your mom and dad in the car. And I was with my girlfriend Shannon. She's been on my podcast a
Yeah,
couple.
she's great. She texts me. She likes me when I'm on Gutfeld. She sends me these nice texts. It's really sweet.
Oh yeah, she's a doll. She's been my best friend for 30 years, you know. Anyway, so she was with me, of course, and I go, honey, I'm going to go see my parents. And she goes, what? I go, yeah. And I was smoking quite a bit of pot then, and that helps me not be too neurotic at the time. And I was like, yep, I'm going to do it. And so I was getting all nervous. What am I going to say? And I just was praying. So we pull up to their house, you know, and I'm like, you know, God, here's another mess you're going to get me out of, and asking him to help me. And we pull up there, and so I go, Shannon, go up and knock on the door and ask them if they want to see their daughter.
Oh my God. You
And
must have been terrified.
yeah, and they didn't even have no adult diapers in those days. When I look back on my life, how many times I needed adult diapers when they didn't even have any at that time.
Yes, they
Well,
did.
well, I guess they had the June Allison type,
Yeah.
but those were boxy. And I was
Okay.
trying to look like a fashion plate in those years. I couldn't have, I had leather pants. I didn't want to wear the, anyway. So, but yeah, I was really nervous.
Of course.
And so Shannon comes, when I thought they might say, hell no. And Shannon comes back and she goes, honey, they want to see you.
Oh
And
my
I go,
God.
yeah, it was terrifying. And she goes, your dad's, you know, because my dad was always, you know, weird and say weird. He was always said he was an atheist and a commie, you know. And she goes, guess what? Your dad's wearing a yarmulke. I'm like, what the hell? I got to see this. So I went up and my mom answered the door. And of course, we just embraced. And, and my dad left the room, I guess, because he wanted me to talk to my mom. And we did. And we said things to each other that needed to be said. And that I wanted to say and that she wanted to say. I guess we had each gone over it 1,000 times in our mind in case anything ever
Yeah.
happened that we were reunited. And then I said, where's daddy? She said, he's in his room and he doesn't want to see you. And
How'd that feel?
I was so above it because God was in me, you know. God
Okay.
was strengthening me. So it's kind of like I wasn't even there or I was above myself or something. And I was really okay with it. And I go, oh, okay, well, then I'm just going to go in and say goodbye to him. And so I walked in the room and he was laying in the bed there with his yarmulke on. I go, hey, Dad, it's nice to see you with a yarmulke on. When did you become a believer? And he goes, go back to Hollywood with your filthy goyim that you lay in bed with. Go back there, leave us alone.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, but before I do, I just want to say goodbye. Say goodbye to me, Daddy. He said, I won't say anything to you with your laying in bed with the goyim, and all. This was real ugly. And so I don't know how I got strong to do it. Probably fighting with all them fucking producers on the Roseanne show. I just centered myself and I sat on the bed with him and I said what I had to say to him. And he listened. He didn't say much. And I said everything I wanted to say to him. And he actually got up out of bed and came into the living room. And we all sat there and talked together. And I said everything I wanted to say to them. And I asked what I could do to mend the things that I could mend.
Yeah.
And they told me, and we talked for hours.
Oh, wow.
And when I left, I had lost 300 pounds of pain. And so had they. So what a nice side trip that was. Went up there to Park City. Drank more than I've ever drank. Partied harder than I'd ever partied. And it was great. It was fun and great. And then we began to slowly redefine everything with each other. So I just do stuff when God moves me. I do think when God puts an idea in my head, hey, you might want to fix that. And he has moved me to fix a whole lot of shit that I handled out of a misery that I could not exercise, out of the depths of my misery. And like I say, finally the misery lifted and something else happened and something better came.
Do you remember who was the next person to follow up? Did you call them or they called you?
Well, then I called my sister. I hadn't spoke to her for a long time. And we had a good talk. And I did what she asked me to do. And then we made our way back. It's funny how you can fix things that you don't think you can fix. But you can. You really can. Just turn on a new light switch. It doesn't always have to be a battle. It can be easy.
It starts off with one missed bill, then another. Now it's calls you ignore, envelopes you don't open, pressure that doesn't let up. Debt doesn't knock, it kicks down the door. And PDS Debt helps you fight back. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people break free, and this is your shot. So take it before debt takes everything. PDS Debt goes beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. And PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They boast thousands of 5-star reviews on Google. They hold a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. And why? Because PDS has helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt. I've been in debt in the past. I hated it. You can't ever not think about it. So if this sounds like you, reach out to them. And here's how. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/welcome. That's pdsdebt.com/welcome. pdsdebt.com/welcome. Let's get back to the show. It's funny because one of the reasons I try to be a good person isn't because I'm some saint. It's because I can't handle guilt. because
No.
it's hard to have a good image of yourself when you're like, you know what, I did this thing. I know that it's wrong. And for me, if you're someone who did something that you know is wrong, you're not a good person. So I try to just that it's not that I want to be some kind of ethical, amazing person. It's like I hate having that feeling. Like, remember when you did this? That wasn't the right thing. And it's also such an opportunity when there's like two types of apologies. It drives me crazy. Sometimes my dad's like this a lot. They'll apologize, but what they mean is shut up and leave me alone. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, can you please not read my mail? I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And they just mean like, shut up. But there's the real apology where it's like, you know what? I did the wrong thing. This must have made you feel that way. You don't owe me an acceptance of this apology. I'm putting it
No,
out
I
there.
didn't. I don't think. I think I handled things in a in not the best way, but to say wrong is not the way I handled things was not the best way to handle them, but uh the wrong thing doesn't qualify here with me. It is that I should have handled I wish I could have handled it better, but no, there was no there was no other way for me to handle what happened to me than to drop an atomic bomb on the whole deal. Because it was, I tried to handle it and it was all resistance for my whole life. No, we're not going there. We're not talking. Nope.
Right.
You're saying things that we don't discuss, we don't talk. So I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
And, uh, I should have waited until I was fully healed. That's what that's what I did wrong. I should have waited until I was fully healed and not when I was in the middle of it. And that's good advice for a lot of people. Wait until you're fully healed before you speak out or take any action. Go from victim to victor before you do anything, before you speak out, before you do anything, because you're still in it and you'll hurt people.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. But I just couldn't I couldn't anymore. I already was having I already on the Roseanne show already had been hospitalized, and there it was just I had been hospitalized numerous times. I couldn't anymore. I had to blow it up. I couldn't stand it anymore. And I was self-destructing because you have to look at what happens to victims and when they're like, when they're told there's no way out for you. No one is going to believe you. You can't tell your story. The Justice Department's going to protect um, the abusers. You're going to have to kill yourself. It's just the way it is. And I hated it. And I still hate it. But now it seems that there may be a better and different way coming because of all the victims who are victors now. We'll change it. But it was also the time of, oh my God, I won't even go into it. I'm going to write a book about it, but um, it's how we don't deal with shit that makes it so much worse. It makes it so much worse when you avoid and bury. When you sweep all the dirt in your house under the rug, you just end up living in a house with a filthy fucking rug right in the middle of it, filth right in your kitchen. You got to sweep it out. You got to get rid of it. You got to face it, and you have to discuss it and want to get rid of it, not hide it, not protect it. I mean, that's what's wrong with all of our families that are dysfunctional, and why I so wanted to go on TV and do a family that had problems, but they were not dysfunctional. They handled everything with love. It looked like it was dysfunctional because the society and the level of society they functioned at was dysfunctional. But that family was not dysfunctional in a dysfunctional world. They were functional. They solved every problem with love and with taking it on head on. Because I never had that. And that show was my fantasy family and my answers to myself. And that's why I loved it so much and why it hurt so bad when they had to kill and destroy it. But they did because, that's what they are.
Well, they didn't have to, but they chose to. It's funny what you just said. I had a friend named Matt, and he encouraged me to use his name. And he came out to me. He'd been the victim of being assaulted by another neighborhood boy, and he had repressed it all his life. And then he's like dealing with it, and I went with his permission and encouragement, and I talked about it on Rogan. And I said, it's really horrible that people like this have to keep their mouths shut because they're scared how everyone else is going to react. And that can't be the case because they
They're
have
not
to.
scared. They see how everyone else.
Oh,
They
you're
see
right. You're
what
right.
happens to
But no,
every victim that comes forward. They see what happens.
but my point was, it's our responsibility, if we're going to be good friends, to let them know I'm still going to make the same jokes with him as I did before. I'm not going to see him differently. I'm not going to not want to be around him or anything like that. I'm not going to contribute to what he's been dealing with his whole life. And after I talked about it on Rogan, several more of my friends came out to me, and I had all these DMs from strangers. And the one that really stuck with me the most, that really did a number, it was a guy. He's like, I used to be a drug addict because it was my uncle, who was like a grandfather, I don't remember, I'm sorry, who was a bank president. And I'm the junkie. Because why is he a junkie? Because he didn't know how to deal with this. No one in his family would believe him. And he goes, now I'm married, and my wife says she's okay with not having kids. I don't believe her, but I'm scared I'm going to pass it on to my kids. And I go, I am begging you, please go to therapy. She wants a kid. You're not going to do this. If you're this concerned already, please talk to somebody about this. So it's really kind of that opened my eyes to how prevalent this kind of stuff is, but also the point that you're making is, oh, we're not going to talk about it. And it's acceptable for it to be taboo, or until quite recently, what is done to children on a mass scale. And we're just supposed to pretend it's not a thing. And it's always, almost not always, but very often, within the family or with like some neighbor or something. It's not someone on the street.
No, and it's in my family it wasn't severe like it wasn't as severe as rape or it wasn't really overt sexual abuse like in so many families. It was just a constant violation of your dignity and your physical boundaries. But even that, and a lot of jokes, a lot of things that, oh, it was just a joke, but they hurt. And then it was like, get over it. But like my dad would bring the hose in our bedroom. My dad was really crazy, but so funny. He didn't know where the line was, and neither did we, which is kind of
Yeah.
mean. But my dad would always take every joke too far till he was ruined. And hello. But yeah, he'd bring in the hose to wake us. So you'd be sleeping, and all of a sudden, it's like getting what do they call that? Waterboarded.
Yeah.
Bring in the hose and then to do the screw thing, and that's how you woke up, with the hose in your face. you know, and it's traumatic. And he did a lot of really ridiculous things, but some of it we were always laughing, but it's still, you're always in trauma. And he did a lot of shit like that, man. But um, I don't know.
Um,
No, I mean, it takes a lifetime to unscramble all of
of
it. That's
course.
the sad part. And you don't want to repeat it, of course, on your kids, but It's so ingrained in there that, of course, you do. And I'm really proud of my kids. I had those talks with my kids, and I say, I see you didn't repeat certain things. Because I watched you, and my kids are lucky because I did go to therapy and I did get better, and so they saw that too. But none of them do that. None of them do the ridiculous shit I did, and that I repeated. Not as not as horrible as was done to me, but vestigial shit. And my kids don't do it in their parenting, and man, I feel grateful for that. It's good. It's just like a forward evolution of stuff, you know?
Of course. Yeah, isn't that's the only as your grandma, your mom, any grandparent, well, not all, but the idea is that your kids have it a little bit better than you did, and they don't have to deal with the crap that you have to deal with. I've two nephews. I totally feel it. I'm like, you know what? Like it's my job to make sure you're a little idiot as long as possible. You don't know about this awful stuff.
Right.
So now I kind of feel guilty because Lucas, he's my nephew. He just turned 8, and he has a great sense of humor. I took him to Mar-a-Lago because Dinesh D'Souza was having a movie premiere, and he
Hmm.
went up to all the Republican women in their ball gowns, and he tugged on their dress because he's little, and they go, "Yes, honey." He goes, "You're so beautiful. Were you born as a girl?" And they all thought it was just the funniest thing ever. So he just turned 8, and my sister, now I kind of feel, now I'm wondering if I did the wrong thing, because my sister's a crazy person just like me. She sent me a photo of him when he was younger, and she goes, "He looks just like you. Time for DNA test." So she said to him, "Uncle Michael got us a present, a trip that we couldn't afford. So it's really cool." And he's like, "What is it?" She goes, "We're going to take you to the podiatrist to get leg braces for you." And I photoshopped a picture of him with that kind of cage thing. And he's like, "No, no, I don't want to." She's like, "Oh, it's fine." And when he got in the car, there was the new Nintendo and the Super Mario World, and it was just a prank on him. And I told him every year on his birthday we're going to prank him. But now I'm wondering if it's like the hose in the face.
No, the hose in the face, there's nothing like the fucking hose in the face.
You're right. Yeah, I guess.
There's fucking nothing like
Yeah, there's
that.
no payoff. There's no
No,
Nintendo.
no,
It's not like
like,
you got woken up. Here's a Nintendo. Yeah.
ah! It was Nazi. It was like always like, fucking, this is Nazi torture. It was
And
always a Nazi
this was
torture.
more than once.
Oh yeah, the shit he did. I mean, he thought it was funny, but we were just little. I don't know. My dad was fucking nuts. Half the shit he did was nuts, but
Holy
he
crap.
was so funny. I told you what he said when we go when we're little. Hey, Dad, how come Santa Claus don't come to our house? He comes to all the neighbors' house. My dad goes, because Santa Claus hates the Jews, and we were like, yeah. But getting older is like, that is so funny. It's hilarious. He had that dark, he was like a Lenny Bruce type. Can I say one thing that
Of
you didn't
course.
ask? The movie really takes on my tweet and explains it, which was why I love the movie, because they all like censored everything about what I was saying about the Iran deal and Valerie Jarrett. He was so great as to really fill in what I was saying, and that's why I love that movie.
It's called Roseanne Barr Is America. You can find it anywhere documentaries are found. And here's some questions from, I can't wait to watch it. I just wanted to hear you talk about it first. Folks, head over to malice.locals.com where Roseanne took questions from the fans. Roseanne, we're running out of time. What has been your favorite part of this interview?
Me, of course, as I always say. But no, my favorite part of the interview, seriously, well, I love answering the questions from the viewers. You've got smart viewers. And my other favorite thing is spending time with you, Mr. Malice. You know, I love you, and you are just such a special, sweet spirit there, even though you're just whatever you are. I love you.
You are welcome.
Hey, it's James Altucher. I've been an entrepreneur, investor, best-selling writer, stand-up comic, and whatever it is I'm interested in, I get obsessed. Yes, it's led to success, but it's also led to such heartbreaking failure. I have failed more times than I can count. I wish in my life I had had people to talk to. That's why I started the James Altucher Show and bring on some of the most brilliant minds in every area of life. People like Richard Branson, Sarah Blakely, Mark Cuban, Danica Patrick, Gary Kasparov, and I wanted to find out exactly how they've navigated the highs, the lows, and everything in between. No fluff, just raw stories and real advice. I've talked to 1,500 of the most amazing people on the planet. So if you want to learn from the best and skip the same old canned interviews, we're all about helping you find your next big idea, level up your thinking, and ultimately to choose yourself. So let's do this together. Subscribe now to The James Altucher Show.
This September, CBS hits are streaming free on Pluto TV.
I'm coming in hot.
For this month only, you can watch full seasons of the CBS shows you love. From the courtroom drama of Matlock to the heroics of Fire Country. Go back to where it all began in NCIS Origins, or watch the hilarious hauntings of ghosts, all for free. Full seasons of the CBS shows you love. This month only on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.